winning isn't easy. Is Freddy Krueger on the phone? The mistakes that you can make talking to your ERISA disability carrier or plan on the phone. Now, when I wrote this episode, it was almost Halloween, and it always reminds me of Freddy Krueger and those horror movies. And you can make many mistakes that can destroy your claim. The claims adjuster or the claims representative is going to be calling you in the course of your claim, and you have an obligation to cooperate with them. You have an obligation to speak with them or to respond to their questions, but you can make many mistakes that will destroy your claim. So what are the mistakes that you can make? If you're going to give a recorded statement, I strongly suggest that you get them to agree to allow you to record that call. Number two, if they say no, what you want to do is to ask them to just put all of the questions in writing and you will respond. Now, again, we want to insist that the telephone call be recorded so there's an accurate record of who said what, and ask for a copy of that call recording. You also may ask them to send you that transcript of the recording and the actual recording so that you can review it and make any changes. I think you also should be taking notes during the call or have the call on a speaker phone so that someone else can be taking a note. So if they call you up out of the blue and want to take your statement, say, look, we want to schedule a specific time. Now, I will tell you that some carriers will not let you record the conversation. If that's the case, you want to say, okay, well, let's reschedule the call. And then you're going to have someone who can witness the call. And in those instances, you want that person to be taking contemporaneous notes and memorializing what was asked and the response. And sometimes I'll even tell them to send a copy of that back to the disability carrier plan to try to keep them honest. I also don't want you to feel like you have to have an answer for every one of the questions. You may not know the answer. You might be tempted to guess in an effort to appear cooperative, but if you guess wrong, the disability carrier plan is going to try to argue that you lied when in fact you were just trying to be helpful. So if you don't know the answer to the question, tell them that you don't know, and that if it's a type of question that you can get the answer to, that you will research the answer to the question and get back to them. Now, there are going to be questions that you are clearly going to probably know, like the doctors you've recently seen, what appointments are coming up, whether you've returned to work, whether you've applied for Social Security disability. You can safely answer those questions. So don't feel as if there's things that you can't answer. Now, there may be some things that you're not comfortable answering because either you don't know, you don't want to guess, or you just don't like the question. Ask those questions to be put in writing. And I think that's particularly true if they ask you open-ended questions about what you're doing on a typical day, how much driving you do, whether you do yard work or have similar questions. Now, they should have the answer to those questions if they've sent you an activity of daily living form. But I think that asking those questions when they have the forms, or even asking the questions when they don't, are a setup to create an inconsistency between either what you put on the form or what you told your doctor. So they're trying to create this discrepancy so that they can ultimately argue that you're lying and you're not telling the truth to your doctor about your physical capabilities. Again, these are the kinds of questions that I think the carrier or plan should be putting in writing so that you can review your activity of daily living forms, your doctor's reports, and any other relevant information before you formulate an answer. Take your time to prepare written responses and do not exaggerate or embellish in any way, shape, or form. Remember that this unscheduled call is designed to catch you in a weak moment. You want your benefits to continue. You don't want to do anything to jeopardize it. You want to get this call over because you're afraid, you're scared. Don't do that. You should be requesting that the disability carrier arrange a specific time to speak with you, as opposed to calling you out of the blue. Remember, they're doing that on purpose. They're trying to catch you in a weak moment, and you might be tempted to rush through this phone call because you're nervous, you don't know the answer, whatever reason. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. This is not a social call. It's a horror call. It's Freddy Krueger on the line. Got it? Let's take a break.